Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome onto Pure Dance Energy and FPR. It is the hardcore legend himself, the one and only Scott Brown. Good evening, Scott, how are you?
Hello, very nice introduction, thank you.
You're very welcome. Is it okay if I ask you a few wee questions?
Yeah, I'll fire away. If I keep saying excuse me or pardon, it's because I'm driving and my headset's a bit muffled, so...
No problem.
I do actually use a hands-free, so if any police are listening, don't be following me, you know?
No probs. How did you first get into DJing and producing, Scott?
It was really dates away back to the early 90s. And I was at university doing sitting, and I used all my grant money and my, all that kind of money on keyboards rather than books. We started making music, me and a couple of friends from uni, and one thing led to another. We ended up getting to a stage where we were like, right, let's make some records, and we pressed up some records, we sold them, we made more money, and things just went on from there. It kind of snowballed, and then people started saying, hey, could you play in the records that you make? And it just really went on from there, and we just had the scene at the right time. The rave scene in Scotland was absolutely exploding in the early 90s, so it was a really good time for us.
It was. You became hugely successful at such a young age with Q-Tex. How do you think that's affected you?
I'm not really too sure. I have lived a kind of charmed upbringing, I feel like. I didn't go straight into a job or, the kind of thing that most people do. I've come into this has been my job, so I've never really known anything different, so I don't know how it could have affected me. If anything, it's probably a bad thing, I don't know.
I was saying there, Scott, you did start your own record label, Evolution Records. How did that come about and how's it been going for you?
It was a kind of accident, to be honest. I've been doing a lot of records for different labels, such as Bass Generator Records, Shoop, with some Dutch labels and things. But what I was finding was, I don't like to say names, but some payments weren't coming in time, and it was leaving me a bit short. So I went straight to the distributors and I told them, listen, my name's Scott, blah blah blah, I do some records under these different names. And the guys are like, yeah, you want to do something? So the name itself, Evolution, I just wanted to do something new, so I thought Evolution, that seemed obvious. And that's how it came about, and that was, I think that was 94, all kind of started in 93, but launched in 94, and it's still going strong, thank God.
Brilliant. I know you promote Paid as well, but I don't think a lot of people know enough about it. Can you tell us a wee bit of information about it, Scott?
Well, the original idea with Paid, it's an acronym for Producers Against Illegal Downloads, and it's just basically been because of the amount of torrents, file sharing, all this kind of thing. And a lot of the younger kids getting into the scene seem to think it's normal just to log on to a laptop or whatever and download every single hardcore tune, or it doesn't even need to be hardcore, it's actually affecting everything, whether it's metal, house music, I don't know, Latin, samba, whatever. But they think it's normal just to log in, download everything, and it's, hey, look there, I've got some free music. But what they don't realise is guys like me are spending thousands and thousands just to get the equipment, just to then write the music. And we're spending a lot of time doing it, and we're not making any money from that. So I was to try and raise awareness, but yeah, we should have put a bit more time and money into it. I think there's going to have to be a bit of a relaunch of that, because it was a good idea and a lot of guys got on board.
I think it's an absolute brilliant idea, because kids do seem to think that you get music free these days.
Well, I get it all the time. I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. Yesterday on Devo, some guy emailed me. He's probably listening now, so the poor guy actually. But he emailed me and he said, "Hi Scott, I think you're brilliant. Can you send me your tunes?" So just being sarcastic, I sent an email back saying, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Just give me your email address and tell me what you want, and I'll send it all for free." Despite the fact everyone else has to pay for it. And he actually wrote back to me and he said, "Does that mean I have to pay for postage?" And I'm like, that's the mentality of the people that you're having to deal with. And Paid was only one site, and it was only one small thing trying to deal with a really big issue. And a lot, not just me, but a lot of record labels, a lot of companies are dealing with the same thing. And a lot of people have went under because of it, because they're writing great music, but they just aren't getting the sales because of the illegal downloading.
It's not good at all. I know you play all over the world as well as a DJ. What's been your favourite gig that you've played, and who's the best crowd to play to?
Other than Scotland, Yay! There we go, I heard that. I don't know, there's no real particular favourites. I mean, it's always nice to go out to America because it's, you know, the Americans are always really friendly. Canada's a great place to go. Europe's always good because, like, you go to Holland, they've got without a doubt, the best festivals are in Holland, I have to say that. Like Defcon, Dominator, Decibel, Q-Dance, they're unbelievable, really. They lead the way in festivals. But, you know, for me, there's no favourite. You know, you can go to Australia. Everybody wants to go to Australia. Mm-hmm. You can go there, you can go scuba diving, you can cuddle a koala. There's so many, you know, I've done a lot of really nice things. I've had a very fortunate life, I have to say. But, yeah, I wouldn't say there's any one particular. I would say, yeah, without a doubt, I'll go back there. I'll probably live to regret this, but I'm sure there's one, but I can't think of one now.
Everybody wants to know, what is your studio and DJ setup?
Well, good question, and this will bring me on to a bit of self-plugging, actually. I get asked all the time what do I use, what computer do I use, what programs do I use, and to be honest, it's really a case of what you've got, it's how you use it, you know, it's the old story. Mm-hmm. But on my forthcoming Livewire, the DVD, good plug there, thanks for that. I've actually got about a half hour interview of me in the studio talking about it and talking about how I make tunes, and I go into quite, it's kind of nerd talk, you know. If you're into studio stuff, then it's fantastic. If you're not into that, then you probably won't listen to it. But I do have quite a big studio. I've built it up over the years. I use a lot of old analog stuff. I've got a lot of new digital stuff that's inbuilt to the computer, so it's all run off a PC using Cubase if people want to know that. But yeah, it really is a case of how you use it rather than what you've got, you know.
Can you remember the first gig that you ever played, Scott, and what it was like for you?
I do perfectly clearly, actually. It was in the Glasgow Caledonia University Students' Union. That's what it was. It was while I was a student there, actually. There was a guy, he put up flyers for a thing. He just called it like the Mega Rave or something. He called it a Mega Rave. And there was a number on it, so I called him up and I said, hey, listen, me and my mates have been making music. And now the rain's just started, can you believe this? The phone shut off and the rain started. So I phoned the guy and I said, listen, we've got this band, we can make some music. Would you put us on? And he said, yeah, you can do it for, 20 quid or something, you know. In fact, it wasn't even 20 quid, it was like 20 quid worth of beers, I think. And it was great, it was absolutely brilliant. There was like 150 people there. I think 100 of them were my mates. Not even that I've got that many mates, I'm just showing off. but the show was great, and we had such a good time. And as a result, I remember it being my Thursday night as well. And as a result of that, we got a gig out in Bathgate, and it was, I think it was March 1990, because the clocks changed. And I remember we got this gig 2 days later, right after it, and the clocks changed, and the police came in and shut down the gig halfway through the set. To literally get the plugs pulled on us. But that was the first time I played out live, and I tell you, I was terrified for about a month before it. Absolutely terrified. I was having nightmares. Well, there's always, I think every DJ's got oh no, I'm killing this, I'm going to have to put on something good. And one of the obvious ones for me would be Elysium, or I don't know, things like Turn Up the Music, or there's things like that, you know. If things aren't going too well, I know that if I stick that on, it'll always work, you know. It might not be, I mean, it is a favourite, but like, I've got other personal favourites that people just won't even know and would hate. But I know for a fact that if I played that record, people would just be running literally to get onto the dance floor. So, yeah. Elysium, I would say.
That's one of my favourites as well. What was the first record you ever bought?
First record I ever bought? Ooh, good one. Now, remember, I'm an old git, so...
Aren't we all, Scott?
we're probably going back to... I'll tell you, actually, it might have been quite credible. I think it might have been the Police, Vignata Mondata, the album. Now, the people might not even remember that, but I used to love the Police back in, whenever. So it would probably been the Police, yeah.
That's quite credible, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad, you know, and then the next one was Kajagoogoo, but we won't go into that.
Believe it or not, I actually bought that as well, so I'm not even saying anything about it.
I've got the 7-inch.
Your Livewire DVD, Scott, we've been waiting a long time for it to come out. Can you tell us a wee bit about it?
I've just taken the handset off, got the headset off because I parked up, thankfully. I've just got a 4-hour drive, I just have to say that. But yeah, it's been coming for a while because it was coming on my own label, and then unfortunately, the distributors went bust literally 2 weeks before the album was coming out. So luckily, it would have come out, but I wouldn't have made any money, and probably distribution would have been non-existent, so nobody would have got it anyway. So now the whole project's been sold on to all around the world who have just done the Darren Styles album, they do Clublands, etc. So now they're doing it, and it's coming out August the 4th, as far as I know. And they've pretty much taken over everything, so it's going to be good distribution. You're going to be able to get it everywhere, Amazon, HMV, Woolworths, plug, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's I'm really looking forward to it because it's something different. It's not just an album, the DVD, it's like live gigs in there. There's a documentary kind of style, talking about my roots and how I get into music, all the similar questions to what you're asking, but I go really in depth, So
yeah, it gives people a kind of insight into who you are and what you're all about.
Yeah, just and some of my backgrounds, because a lot of people have said things like, oh yeah, if I haven't liked their music or I've given them some kind of feedback and they haven't liked it, they're like, well, it's alright for you, you're the one with the big studio, but it's like, you'll see in the video, I've come from very humble backgrounds, and I've worked to get where I am, so, I think everybody should do the same, nobody, some people do have the silver spoon, if you like, but I haven't, and I hope we've even went back to where I was brought up, and the place is an absolute hole, it's just unbelievable how much it's went downhill. It's sad actually, but it's good, I hope people get a little bit of an insight into how I've become who I am,
No, definitely, you've worked hard to get where you are.
Yeah, well, it's been a long time.
So what do you do in your spare time on the rare occasion that you actually do get any?
My spare time, yeah, just I do a lot of exercise, believe it or not. I just try and keep my head clear. I listen to a lot of music, but not dance music. I listen to a lot of metal and things like that, believe it or not. And,
Come on, I love the metal as well.
Yeah, I love my metal. I really, really love it. I used to hate it, but yeah, I've got into it as times went on. Other than that, yeah, just normal things. I've got a bike which has been sitting in the shed for 2 years that I keep saying I'm going to get out on. I cut the grass, I watch Big Brother, all those things. That's what I do. Go on, Mikey.
I know you've worked with loads of different people over the years. Have you had a favourite person to work with? There's been some guys who are really good fun to work with, like I would say Brisk's funny to work with. It's actually a bit of torture working with Brisk as well, because he can bust your brain a little bit, but you can have a good laugh working with him. Neil Fight, he's always good to work with, very professional, and we have a laugh as well, and we always end up sitting in the studio half the time with a hangover. But it's good to work with because you pick up a lot of tips and vice versa. We've got different ways of working, so that's good. Paul Elstack was good to work with. Yeah, the list goes on, but they're probably top three in no particular order. Where can we catch up with you in the near future, gig-wise? I know you're actually gigging tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I'm on the way. I'm kind of halfway. Well, not even halfway. I'm more than halfway on the way up to Forfar. The guy's going to kill me because I know he's listening to this, and I forgot the name of it. I think it's the Bubble Club, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. It's the Bubble Club.
Yeah, thank God for that. But I'm actually in Cumbernauld at the moment. I'm just stopping out to see my mum and get something to eat. I'm actually sitting outside the Indian waiting for a takeaway.
Can you order something for me while you're there, please? I'm quite hungry.
I was starving. I phoned my brother there. I was like, phone me up some food. But that's why I had to phone you up earlier and say, listen, I'm going to be eating in 10 minutes because I was absolutely starving, So, I'm up there tonight. Tomorrow night I'm going to be in Barlich. That's going to be good. Next week I'm off to America again. What's after that? I've got Holland the week after that. I've got a few things the week after over in Rotterdam. Then the week after, as that is into August, I'm trying to think where I'm going to be. I do have a lot of things coming up. I mean, normally what I do is I post most of my big or international gigs online, and most of the other ones you normally find out. Some site will have them on there. They're the main ones, the most immediate ones anyway. I think I'm coming back up to Glasgow again in the 1st of August, I think. I think it's a gig called Evolution, bizarrely enough. So where can everybody keep up to date with everything Scott Brown? There's so many places. I mean, I always send people to evolutionrecords.net in the first place, but
there's MySpace, and then it's /DJ_Scott Brown, and then from there there's Bebo.com, Evolution Records /Evolution Records, I should say. There's too many sites, to be honest. I'm trying to keep them all up to date, but it's impossible. But if you go to evolutionrecords.net, you can normally find the rest from there.
Scott, I'd like to thank you for taking time out to talk to us tonight. I know you're a really busy man.
I wish I was sitting down in one place in a landline to do it, but unfortunately I'm driving again, you know. No, it's all good. Thanks for having us on, and hope you have a good night.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is the hardcore legend, Scott Brown.
I'm actually bowing in the car now. Thank you very much.